Hi everyone, it's Cherie from 12 by 12 Cardstock Shop, and today we're going to do this backyard barbecue title from Marjorie Ann Designs, and I imported it into Cricut Design Space with a width of 12, and with the lock on, it auto-adjusted the height to 8.18. So this is my third time doing this video because I just keep forgetting something. I cut this out in black. And I'll get to that right now, actually. So I ordered the new Plike Plastic Like variety pack from 12 by 12 Cardstock Shop. You have 8 sheets. You have a dark red, light red, a very dark charcoal gray, black, white, a dark brown, darker than a chestnut, a regular blue, and a navy blue. But all 8 pieces, they're all 12 by 12. And that is going to be the dark blue, the regular blue, and here is the dark gray, the black, the dark red, light red, and then the white and the dark brown. The dark brown, you have to actually look really close, so be careful if you do order the pack and you're trying to use black. Other than that, this stuff is great. It is basically like a matte plastic. It's like plastic sheets, just matte finished. It's not shiny at all. So if you want shine or sheen to it, you'll have to add some kind of extra medium to it. And I did add glitter to my fire. I went over my little black with a white gel pen, and then I just scraped the insides to give it the darker look to it. Excuse me. So I didn't want to have to cut out another white base and another little thing, so bear with me. This piece goes on first, this little oval piece, and the little groove is right here. That's how you can kind of tell. And I played with it as I dry pieced it before I actually glued anything down. And when I did glue it, I glued my ends and then this, because I didn't want to push on this due to I don't want to cause the paper to bow. So this is going to be the lid. You can put it on after you put your red little bottom piece on the barbecue base. And the reason why I'm not doing a voiceover on this one is because I wanted to give a couple pointers for this paper. It is very, very thick. And when I get new product, I cut 1-inch circles out. And that is what I practice on. And now I don't know where it is. Did it stick to something? Well, either way, I cut out 1-inch circles, and that is what I try to ink and chalk and make sure that it cuts out without giving me any difficulty, and it doesn't tear, that it is cutting well, it cuts all the way through. That way, because like probably a lot of you, I'm just as bad. I throw my paper in there, a wing and a prayer. That's basically all I can emphasize this as. A wing and a prayer. I just have to hope that it cuts out, it doesn't tear, it cuts all the way through. And I quit doing that because I noticed I was wasting a lot of product, paper, vinyl, doing it that way. I didn't want to do it that way anymore, so I just started cutting out 1-inch circles. And I swatch everything, even my paper, my inks are all swatched. I have different inks, different swatches. I have a few of these just because I have so many inks over 20 years that I ended up creating a couple swatch books just to make my life easier. And when I hold my paper to my swatches, I try to go quite a few shades darker. This one is probably the one I would have chosen for this color, but because I added glitter to it, it ended up almost making it a richer red. So I'm glad that I went as dark as I did, and that's a Merlot color from Catherine Pooler. This color here is going to be Scarlet by American Crafts, and then my yellow is Banana by American Crafts. They're both textured. All I did was add glitter to them, and I'm going to glue them together and set them aside while I finish gluing stuff on. But I just wanted to stress to everybody, when you do get this, I ended up having to use the poster board. I do have a deep cutting blade, but I wanted to see how durable the paper was. And poster board went all the way through the first try. I didn't have any issues with it. And if you're wondering why the edge of my yellow is red, it was because you could see the bright yellow cardstock behind it, and I wanted to hide that from being so visible. We'll go ahead and glue that on now. But yeah, I had the circle a minute ago. I just don't know where it went between me getting up to cut out this part again, because I cut it out in black on accident. And I bet you it's in the trash can right next to me because I threw the black one away, as I wasn't planning on cutting it out for a third time to try to get it right. But this paper is so thick, I cannot stress that enough, and I love it. It's very heavy. It is definitely a paper worth its weight in gold. I can think of so many things I can use this paper for, and especially when you don't have a base for your pieces. This doesn't need a base. This is a good standalone. Now, I did use my silver cardstock. This one is the silver Mylar specialty paper. I use it. I ordered a lot of different silver cardstock just because I do so many different things. I don't always want it super reflective, or I don't want it matte. I don't ever have a certain preference when I start paper piecing. It just kind of goes together. I do lay it out before I glue anything down, and in my first video it was actually dry pieced, and I was starting to go along my way, and everything fell off that I was setting to my left so I could kind of make it a smooth video and not do the voiceover. Lesson learned. So there was a big bang, and me, you know, going, I don't know what happened. My husband comes out of the room. What did you do? I was just kind of laughing. I knocked everything off. So this, I'm just using art glitter glue. And that is on the wrong one, isn't it? Yes, there we go. I'm just using regular old art glitter glue. It adheres perfectly to the paper. The Plike paper, let me specify, it adheres great to the cardstock and to the foil. It is the silver Mylar specialty paper. I did put it on the mirror foil as well. It adheres to all of it great. It doesn't lift. I wasn't too sure because, as I said, this is a new paper. I seen it on their website and I knew that I had to try it. Now for her title, barbecue, there is 2 big B's and a little b. The little b in the picture actually goes underneath that, but I put mine on top just because I didn't want to hide the letter. I wanted it on top so that way both were focal points, not just the barbecue itself. And this paper, I'm just really amazed. It is so thick. You guys definitely have to try it. I was in hopes that it was shiny. I know one of the ladies that, when I shared it to my page, one of the ladies was making a Lego page, and she said that it would be perfect, and then I found out that it wasn't shiny. I hope that they do go and create a shiny one, but if not, we can always add some kind of gloss or glaze to it, a medium, just to give it the shiny effect if I was doing a Lego piece per se. I didn't realize that I had rubbed that off. And this little title went together so quick, so smooth. That's why I didn't mind doing another video, repeating my piece. I actually am thankful that Marjorie started doing titles, just that way all my titles aren't just one site. I do alternate sites. I know a lot of the times you guys ask what sites I find my files on. There are so many. I do look at Dreaming Tree, which is 3D SVG. If you go back to March, I did a really cute little St. Patrick's Day box. And Marjorie Ann Designs. And then there is Treasure Box Designs, Cuddly Cute Designs, Little Scraps of Heaven. There are so many different sites. And as you I don't necessarily just go to one site. I try to find the SVG that is perfect for what I'm doing, or one of my customer orders. They kind of flip-flop through all the sites, and then they'll send me the list of what they want. And Franklin and Franny, the springtime Franklin that, well, I turned Franklin into Franny, that just got posted by me. That's from Marjorie Ann Designs as well, but Franklin and Franny are my favorite. I don't know, it's just something about those bears. They're just so sweet, and they go with anything. I did the cutest little Taco Tuesday, and Marjorie said that I was cheating on Franklin, and I felt so bad because I thought about it, and I was like, she's right. I did a bear that's not Franklin. But I have a bunch of titles posted on my Paper Pieces and Leftover page, my Facebook. And if you're looking for more specific detailing of inking, what I do use finger daubers, and I use pom-poms, all different sizes of pom-poms, and then makeup brushes. That is on my Paper Pieces and Leftovers page. It is very time consuming to do the inking on video. Sometimes I've watched some videos, and I noticed that there's not always something to conversate about, and it is not always amusing when there's dead air. So I do the voiceover on them and speed them up some. One, to cut down on time, and two, so I don't lose anybody's interest. I am really good, and so is 12 by 12 Cardstock Shop. The girls there are great at answering questions if you have any. This is a new paper. So far, I'm very impressed. I just can't really emphasize that enough. And I figured this would just go together perfectly with my layout that I have in mind. We've already started hanging out in the backyard playing dominoes. I had a couple pictures that I snagged off the Ring camera in the back. We only have the Ring camera because we have a cat that isn't ours, and we don't let our puppies out if that cat's in the backyard, just because we don't know if the cat's had shots, and if it's aggressive, we don't want it messing around with the babies, because my little babies are only 5 pounds. They're teacups. So the Ring is back there, and I was able to pull a couple videos off of my husband, my kids, and all of us playing dominoes and barbecuing. So what I did here is I just took my white chalk pencil, not my chalk pencil, my white pan pastel and my makeup brush, and I just went around to give it a little bit of a shade. Be careful with this if you are using pan pastel, as if you try to erase it, it does leave the eraser marks on it. I will say that. So less is more putting on chalk. Be very careful and very stingy with it. You can add, but you cannot take away on this. It does not erase like cardstock. And so I did a slow buildup of it. And I took another, this is a dual tip lip brush, just because it's got a finer point. And that's when I want to wipe off the excess, and I'm going to focus more up there on the top. And I just want you to see how easy this gel pen goes on here. Let me move that one. I wanted to test drive everything that I would do to my regular cardstock to this, to make sure that it's going to hold up to what I do to it. Just because I use gel pen, I use inks, I use everything. And I don't know with new papers what I'm able to use and get away with. And so far it's held up to Sharpie, it's held up to my gel pen and dry chalk. I did go around my 1-inch circle with my finger dauber and ink. It did rub off. Now, I don't know if it's got a certain dry time yet, but I will touch base with you guys on that later on once I do figure out that aspect. But these titles went together so cute, and it doesn't hurt to have more than one. But here is the finished product, and thanks for watching, guys. Have a good day.